Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and I've got another narrated Pokemon battle for you. So, this person is Forbidden Sniper, and this person has a lot of scary Pokemon. The Volcarona, Excadrill, Dragonite, Garchomp, Latios, even the Toxicroak at some point. These Pokemon are very scary. They can hit really hard, and they can take hits. So, I'm going to lead with my Crocodile, as my opponent leads with the Volcarona. And this is like the worst lead that I could ever have happen, because this Volcarona can easily set up on me. I'm going to go for Taunt turn 1, hoping my Crocodile is faster, but unfortunately it turns out the Volcarona is faster. So this Taunt, it really isn't going to do much except keep this Volcarona from going for another Quiver Dance. Unfortunately, it's already got one Quiver Dance. That's going to do a lot of damage, and now I could just Giga Drain my Crocodile. So, unfortunately, Crocodile goes down in the very beginning. Crocodile would have been a good Pokemon to have because it's good against a few things on this team. But unfortunately, we lose the Crocodile. We don't even get to set up Stealth Rocks, because that's really what I wanted to do with my Crocodile. Set up Stealth Rocks, put some pressure, especially on that Dragonite. So now I'm going to bring in my Charizard as I set up the Sun. And really, Charizard is really the only thing I have that can 1v1 a Volcarona. And I'm kind of scared. I really need to get rid of this Volcarona, because if it ends up taking out my Charizard, I would have set up the Sun for it. It would probably have an easier time sweeping the rest of my team. So I'm just going to keep going for Flamethrower, as it goes for Hidden Power. I'm not sure what Hidden Power that is, probably Ice. But luckily for me, the Volcarona goes down. So we're in an okay position. Not the best, because we lost our Crocodile so early on. But now my opponent brings out the Excadrill. I'm just going to go for Flamethrower. If this happens to be sashed, there's not much I can do about that. But it ends up not being sashed. So this Excadrill came out just to go down. So maybe he was sacking it off, trying to burn out some Sun turns. But now he brings in the Toxicroak, and Toxicroak can easily Sucker Punch me if it wanted to. So I'm just going to actually go for Roost here, thinking it probably would go for Sucker Punch, but it ends up going for Sludge Bomb. So it ends up being a special attacking Toxicroak, and I'm going to see that it has the Dry Skin ability. So fire moves are actually going to do a lot more damage to this thing. I'm actually just going to go for Roost again, hoping he goes for something else that Charizard can take better, or maybe even miss a move, but he ends up going for Sludge Bomb again. So really there's not really much I can do there. The sunlight has faded now, so unfortunately the Dry Skin is not going to be giving this Toxicroak any damage. But now he's going to switch into his Garchomp, and I'm actually going to Flamethrower this turn. And unfortunately, Garchomp takes that pretty well. Actually, I'm surprised how much that did, though. So this is clearly an offensive Garchomp. I'm actually going to go Tapu Koko here. I don't think this thing's going to go for a ground type move, because it wouldn't even hurt Charizard. And he ends up going for Stone Edge, so that ends up working in my favor there. Luckily, my Tapu Koko can take a Stone Edge. I'm just going to go for Hidden Power Ice, and that will finish off this Garchomp. So I'm in a good position now. I've gotten rid of this Garchomp, but now he's going to send out his Dragonite, and this thing's kind of scary. I know Dragonites usually have weakness policy, so I'm actually going to go for Taunt first turn, keep this thing from Dragon Dancing up on me, and it ends up working out this time. So this time the Taunt actually works. So I'm going to switch out, because Tapu Koko is still a pretty usable Pokemon. He still has Latios. I'm actually going to go into my own Dragonite. I don't really think Dragonite's really doing much for me. It gets outsped by a lot of Pokemon. But I'm actually going to switch here, hoping that he goes for a Dragon-type move here. But he actually goes for Extreme Speed, and that ends up hurting me there. So unfortunately, I take some damage on my Primarina, and the Taunt has faded away. So I was actually wanting to go for a move other than Moonblast, but since his Taunt was gone, I needed to get some damage on this thing. Unfortunately, I have just activated the weakness policy, and he's going to get that Dragon Dance. So now I'm in a really bad position. This Dragonite can outspeed me. It's got really high attack now, and it's going to do a lot of damage to me. So now this Iron Head will be able to take out my poor Primarina there. So I'm in a really bad position. This thing stands to sweep my team. I'm going to go Dragonite, hoping that he doesn't go for Extreme Speed and I could get some chip damage, but he actually does go for Extreme Speed. So that will do a lot of damage to my Dragonite. I probably should have Outraged there, but I knew if he went for Outrage, it would be enough to kill my Dragonite. But maybe Outrage was still the better move there, because then I would have taken out this Dragonite, and even if he went for Outrage, my Tapu Koko could come in and block the Outrage. So I think that right there was me kind of submitting the fact that I was going to lose. If I went for Outrage, I would probably have a better chance there. But how it is now, this thing is going to sweep my entire team. And now I've got my Superior here. I'm going to try to go for Leaf Storm, hoping it'll be enough. But it's barely not enough. So I'm in a really bad position now. And this Dragonite also has Fire Punch. So that's going to take out my Superior. Even if it didn't take it out, he could just Extreme Speed the next turn. And I'm going to send out my Charizard. Charizard's not going to live in Extreme Speed. So that's the game. I'm going to end up losing this one. But I think what I should have done was just go for Outrage with my Dragonite, because there was like a small chance that my Dragonite would have lived, and I had to probably play for that. But unfortunately, we're going to lose there. It's not the worst loss because we did some damage back at my opponent. But if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Pokemon battle.